Hello Year 4, and this is your learning journey lesson for Wednesday the 3rd of March. Now today what we're going to be looking at is planning a diary entry that focuses on a character's emotions. Okay, and basically you are going to pretend to be the main character in the story The Promise that we've been looking at. Okay, and you're going to write as if you were her. First of all, I'd like to have a careful look at this picture from the story. Okay, so this is one of the illustrations taken from the story. So just have a think to yourself. You don't need to write anything down at the moment, but what do you think is happening here? How can you tell? And why do you think this is happening? Okay, so think back to the story. Now you might have only heard it once or twice, but do you know which part of the story this is from? Okay, so you might have thought this is the moment where the main character steals the bag from the old lady. Okay, now the shadows show two people both tussling, fighting over something, doesn't it? They look like they're both grabbing. It looks like a dark alleyway as well, and the street lights are maybe causing the shadows. Can you remember why the character wanted to take things? Remember how the city was described? Well, not to worry, because I'm going to read the first part again. Okay, I'm also going to put the link to the story as well in your class portfolios. Okay, so what I want us to think about today, okay, so you've had a look at that picture, a little think about it, is the planning of the diary entry. Okay, and we're going to use these questions to help you plan. Now I'm going to put a copy of these questions into your class portfolios as well. Okay, so you can obviously think about it now. So what we need to do for our plan is we need to describe the city in which you live. So you are that character in that story, The Promise. Okay, so what does it look like? How do you and other people feel about living there? Well, I'm going to read the first part to you again, and like I said before, I'm also going to put a link to the whole story for you to look at as well. Okay, so we want to answer these questions basically for our plan. Describe the city in which we live. What does it look like? How do you and other people feel about living there? Describe the night you met the old lady. Where did you meet her? What did she look like? What did you do? Why did you do it? Describe your feelings towards the event. So how did you feel when you were taking the lady's bag? How did it make you feel? And then also think about, what did the old lady say to you? Describe what you found inside the bag. How did you react? And what are you going to do now? Okay, so I'm going to have a copy of these questions for you to work on your planning with. Okay, so these questions will be uploaded into Class Dojo. I'm now going to read through up until the point where she takes the bag. Okay, so remember, whilst you're listening, you are the main character. Okay, so you've got to imagine you are her and think about how you're feeling at the time and why you are doing it. Okay, so The Promise. When I was young, I lived in a city that was mean and hard and ugly. Its streets were dry as dust, cracked by heat and cold, and never blessed with rain. A gritty yellow wind blew constantly, scratching round the buildings like a hungry dog. Okay, so you've got some description there about what the city is like to live in. Nothing grew. Everything was broken. No one ever smiled. The people had grown as mean and hard and ugly as their city, and I was mean and hard and ugly too. So there's some examples of how you're feeling. I lived by stealing from those who had almost as little as I did. My heart was as shriveled as the dead trees in the park. And then one night I met an old lady down a dark street. She was frail and alone, an easy victim. Her bag was fat and full, But when I tried to snatch it from her, she held on with the strength of heroes. To and fro we pulled that bag, until at last she said, "If you promise to plant them, I'll let go." What did she mean? I didn't know or care. I just wanted the bag. So I said, "All right, I promise." She loosened her grip at once and smiled at me. I ran off without a backward look, thinking of the food and money in her bag. But when I opened it, there were only acorns. I stared at them, so green, so perfect, and so many, and I understood the promise I had made. I held a forest in my arms, and my heart was changed. Okay, so there we should have the information we need to help us plan our diary entry, okay? Because in our diary entry we're going to describe what the city looks like, where we live, how we feel about living there. Well, it's not very nice, is it? We're doing what we can to survive. Where we met the old lady. We can add the detail about what she looked like, and why did we do it? Why did I, so I'm pretending to be the main character, why did I take the bag? I was hungry, I was tired, it looked like she had a lot of stuff in there that would be useful for me. How did it make me feel? I needed to survive, I did whatever I could, I needed to survive. Then, the old lady asked me to keep a promise. And what did I find inside the bag? Acorns. Not what I was expecting, but it made me realise I had a whole forest in my hands, and it changed my heart. It changed the way I saw things. It changed the way I felt about other people and my surroundings. Okay, so copy of this will be uploaded into Clash Dojo portfolio. I will put a link to the story so you can listen to it again. So these questions, if you answer these questions, you're going to have the main plan for your diary entry, which we're going to work on tomorrow in the Zoom lesson. Okay, right, well done Year 4. Look forward to seeing your ideas. Bye.